afternoon peak, how long do you think the boom gates are down for? If you say too long, that's also correct.
An hour and a half.
Not that long.
30 minutes.
58 minutes. 30 minutes. So 25% of your 2-hour morning peak is spent with the boom gates down here at Exford and Coburn Road. So it's a long time, okay, during that morning or afternoon peak for you to be sitting stagnant. You obviously see quite a fair bit of the traffic queuing around the area. So we're well aware that there's going to be a really big benefit once we get rid of those boom gates, okay? So we're really looking forward to that. In terms of the amount of track, so that's the extent from Tulern Creek to Arnold's Creek. Who wants to have a guess? And the answer is between 1 and 10 as to how many kilometres of track we will have laid.
9, 8,
Still waiting.
6, 5, 7.
Yeah! Roughly
She's
around
7.
7 kilometres worth of track. Okay? And then my last little bit of trivia before I hand over to Esmat. In terms of the number of sleepers that we install, okay, the answer is also between 1 and 10, and it's less than 7, so there's your answer to an extent. How many thousand sleepers? Very close. Very, very close. Not, a little bit lower.
4,500.
Well done, 4,500, a little bit lower, well done. Okay, so that's a little bit of trivia for you. Obviously there's a lot that goes into these projects. You know, we talk about a lot of numbers and a lot of cool stats, and Esmat will run you through, and I'll show you some imagery here as well. One of the other cool things with this project is how we're investing into, I guess, landscaping for the local Melton area. We obviously see opportunities where we can to landscape appropriately behind the building, grass is installed, but more than 600 trees have been planted around the local Melton area in our project zone from Tulern Creek down to Arnold's Creek. You know, our northern and southern forecourt areas, they'll be heavily landscaped. The section that we walk past near our school artwork in behind there, we'll have a lot of landscaping. We're obviously trying to create, I guess, a more safe, accessible, comfortable place as part of the station precinct where people can get those opportunities, okay? I'm going to hand over to Esmat to talk us through what we're seeing just behind us.
Yeah, so as you can see, so this section of the track looks slightly different to the other one. So you've got the U-truss and you've got that wall that you can see, but it goes into the earth embankment. And the reason why we have that is because you can see it in this picture. So we've got a complex crossover, and that crossover allows the trains to go from one track to the other side. That complex crossover, you can't really have them on the U-trough, so you essentially need them on solid earth. And essentially that's why we've got the earth embankment in this section of the project. And that one, as you can imagine, so what you do is you just do essentially the guys that are doing over here. So you do a 150 mil layer of earth. You use one of the giant rollers. You compact that. Once you get the compaction level that you need, you continue doing that. So until you get the right level, and then once you get the right level, then you start cutting all the sides just to make sure that you get the slope that you want. And in this one it will be a nice break as well. So you've got all the concrete wall and all of that, but in this section it will be landscaped as Doug mentioned, which will look a bit nicer and greener. What else to mention? And the work that the guys are doing at the moment is just to build that southern car park. On this side of the track. That's pretty much it. Any questions if you have any about the project? And the reason why we've got that crossover because we run dedicated services from Melbourne to Southern Cross. So as you can imagine, when they travel from Southern Cross to here, they drive on the right hand of the track. But when they want to go back to Southern Cross, they can't continue going in the same direction because that direction is only coming down. So they have to then switch over to the left side and then go back to Southern Cross. And this essentially allows you to go from the right-hand side to the left-hand side. So,
So we just had a question about, why we delivered so much additional landscaping when there's potentially the opportunity to include more car parks. I guess first place, we're not having any net loss of parking, so that's the number one thing, is we've been able to facilitate the 900 spaces here at Melton Station, so that's probably the first part. The second part to it is comparable to the old Melton Station, which, you know, in terms of, I guess, the effect was a real concrete island heat effect type of scenario. You know, we obviously want the station precincts themselves to be, as I mentioned, comfortable, to have appropriate shading, canopy coverage, those types of things. That way it's, you know, really comfortable for the passengers. You know, in terms of getting around the station as well, hard to see in this image, but I do have an image over here. Where around the station precinct we'll have new walking and cycling paths, or shared paths as we would refer to them. Okay, and that will be around the entire station precinct. We're obviously wanting to make it, I guess, a precinct where people can easily access, whether that be by public transport, mobility scooter, e-scooter if that's the way that you're inclined, or bike. Okay, so we know that we need to get people to the station. Part of that is having, you know, I guess an environment that is, you know, conducive to be able to have that to occur. Any questions? No? All right, well, we've got one final stop left on the tour.